right, so you're using rise over run, so that means you're going up or down, and then left or right. If you go down, what type of number is that going to be? Negative. If you go to the left, what type of number is that going to be? Negative. Okay, up and to the right is positive. So you're choosing any of these 2 points. You're choosing these 2 points. It doesn't matter which one you start at. Okay, if I start at this one, I have to either go up or down first. But in order to get to that point, I have to go up 1. So that's a positive 1. And then I have to go to the left 1, 2, 3. So because I went left 3, that's a negative 3. So that slope should be negative 1/3. Okay. Even if I started right here, you still either have to go up or down. In this case, have to go down 1 and then to the right 3. And you still get the same answer as negative 1/3. Okay, so it doesn't matter which point you start at. You just have to go up or down first, not left or right. Okay. Number 2, my 2 points are right here. So if I start down here, I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So up 7 is a positive 7. And then I'm going to the right 1, 2, 3. So that's a positive 3. The slope is 7 over 3. Should you always simplify slope if you can?
Yes.
Yes. If this was a 9 over 3, you would need to simplify that to 3. Okay. In this case, you can't simplify, so that's your final answer. All right, 3 through 6, you're finding the slope. So you have 2 points. So how do you find the slope when you're given 2 points? AJ?
Y2 minus Y1 and X2 minus X1.
Good. Y2 minus Y1 over X2 minus X1. That's your formula you're using. Okay. This first point, that is your X1, Y1. Your second point is your X2, Y2. So then you just plug those in. So Y2 is 14 minus Y1, which is 10, over X2, which is negative 7, minus X1, which is 8. So 14 minus 10 is what? 4. And what's negative 7 minus 8? Negative 15. So that slope is 4 over negative 15, or negative 4/15. Okay? You can't simplify that, so that's it. Number 4, we got X1, Y1, X2, Y2. So again, I'm using that same formula. So I've got Y2 minus Y1, so that would be 2 minus 1 over negative 17 minus negative 3. You have to remember that that minus sign is always there. So when I have a minus and negative, what does that actually change to?
Positive.
That's going to change to a positive. So this would be 2 minus 1 over negative 17 plus 3. Okay. So 2 minus 1 is 1. What's negative 17 plus 3?
Negative 14.
Negative 14. Good. So that slope is 1 over negative 14. Any questions so far? Okay, number 5. X1, Y1, X2, Y2. So M equals negative 10 minus negative 4 over negative 12 minus negative 20. So this is going to become negative 10 plus 4 over negative 12 plus 20. So then what's negative 10 plus 4?
Negative 6.
Negative 6. Negative 12 plus 20? Positive 8. Can you simplify that at all?
Yes.
How?
Divide by 2.
Yeah, you can divide top and bottom by 2. So negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So negative 3/4 is your slope on that one. Always have to simplify. I'm not giving partial credit for not simplifying on this test like I did last test. Okay, so number 6, I've got negative 8 minus negative 5 over 0 minus negative 12. So that is actually negative 8 plus 5 over 0 plus 12. What's negative 8 plus 5?
Negative 3.
Negative 3. 0 plus 12
12.
is just 12. Can I simplify that at all?
Yes, sir.
How?
Divide.
Dividing by 3, right? So this becomes
Negative 1/4.
negative 1/4. Okay. Make sure we are simplifying. Make sure that you read the directions on that as well. You are just finding the slope on those, so you didn't have to give me y equals mx plus b, just m. Any questions? All right, 7, 8, and 9, you are identifying the slope. So remember, your slope is your m, and your y-intercept is your b. So that's all you're giving me is m and b. Is this equation in slope-intercept form already? Yes. So what is my m? Negative 5. It's whatever number is with x. And then what is your b?
Negative 1.
Negative 1. This minus 1. All right, number 8, I have a graph. So first thing I need to find is what?
Your y-intercept.
My y-intercept, so my b first. So remember that y-intercept is wherever it's intercepting the y-axis, okay, wherever it's crossing that y-axis. So in this case, it is this point right here, which is negative 3. And then you have to find your slope from that y-intercept. So I have to go up 1, 2, 3. So that's positive 3. And then to the right, 2. That's positive 2. So slope is 3 over 2. Y-intercept is negative 3. Questions on that? All right, number 9, is that in slope-intercept form?
No.
No, you have to get it in slope-intercept form before you can look at the slope and the y-intercept. So what's the first thing I need to do?
Subtract 2x from both sides.
Subtract 2x from both sides. Good. So then that leaves me with a positive 3y on the left. And then remember that you want that x term first. So I'm going to write that first. So that's a negative 2x and a positive 9, so plus 9. Is y by itself?
No.
Seth?
Divide by 3 on each number.
Mm-hmm. Now I need to divide by 3 on every single term. A lot of us are forgetting to divide that last number by 3. So I'm left with y on the left hand. And then negative 2x divided by 3, can I simplify that at all?
No.
No, so that just stays negative 2/3 x. And then what's 9 divided by 3?
3.
3. So this is a plus 3. Okay. Is that my answer?
No.
No, because the question is, what is your slope in your y-intercept? So now I have it in slope-intercept form so that I can find my slope in my y-intercept. So what is my slope?
Negative 2/3.
Negative 2/3. And my y-intercept
3.
is 3. So that right there is your answer. And again, like last test, I'm going to give you an answer form. So it should say, like on number 7 through 9, it should say m equals blank, b equals blank, so that you don't give me an equation. Okay. Questions on that first page? All right, 10 and 11, you are writing the slope-intercept form of the equation. So we are writing equations here, and you're given a graph. So you first need to identify your m and your b first, and then you can write that equation. Okay. So which is the first one that I need to find first? The b, the y-intercept. So what number is it crossing the y-axis at?
4.
At 4. It's right there. So b is 4. And then I need to find another point on that graph where I know exactly what point that is. So looking at my graph, right here. Is that what y'all chose? So I need to find out, how did I get from B over here to this other one? So I'm going down 3. So down 3 is a negative 3. and then to the right 2, which is a positive 2. So slope is negative 3 over 2. Y-intercept is 4. Is that my answer? No, I need to put that in my equation now. My y equals mx plus b. So somebody tell me what that is.
Y equals negative 3 over 2x plus 4.
Good. That's fine. I'd rather the whole class than one person. Normally I have to pull your teeth to get somebody to answer. So this is my answer right here. It's that full equation. Alright, doing the same thing on number 11. I need to find my b first. So what is b?
2.
It is right there at positive 2. And then my m, I need to find another point. So what if I choose this one? How do I get there? Up 1 over 2. So that's a positive 1 over 2. Could you have chosen this point down here?
Yes.
You most certainly could have. And you would have gone down 1, which is a negative 1, to the left 2, which is a negative 2. So a negative 1 over a negative 2 is a positive 1 over 2. Okay. All right, so what's my equation?
Y equals 1 over 2x plus 2.
Good. 1 over 2x plus 2. Any questions? All right, 12 through 15, you are given equations in, what form is that again? Do you remember what the name of that? Starts with an S? That's not in slope-intercept form. ST standard form. Remember that? This is given to me in standard form. I need to write it in slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. So don't forget that y equals mx plus b. So what's the first thing I need to do here?
Get y by itself.
So the first thing to get y by itself is to...
Subtract mx or x.
Yep, subtract your mx, your 4x. Alright, when I subtract 4x from both sides, what am I left with on the left-hand side? Negative 2y. When you cross out that 4x, you have to remember to bring down that negative sign. And then my x term comes first, so this is a negative 4x. It's a minus 16. And then, what do I need to do to get y by itself? Divide by 2, negative 2. Do not make the mistake of adding 2 to both sides, because that is not how you would get rid of that negative 2. You're dividing both sides by negative 2. So I have y equals negative 4 divided by negative 2. What is that?
2.
Positive 2. So that's a positive 2x. And then negative 16 divided by negative 2 is a positive 8. So this is a plus 8. So that y equals 2x plus 8 is your answer. Alright, number 13. What do I need to do?
Subtract 2 from both sides.
Subtract 10x from both sides. So I'm left with a negative 2y again equals negative 10x minus 12. Good. What now?
Divide both sides by everything by negative 2.
Good. Divide everything by negative 2. So you're left with y equals negative 10 divided by negative 2.
5.
Positive 5. So 5x. Negative 12 divided by negative 2. Positive 6. So y equals 5x plus 6. Questions? Alright, 9x plus 7y equals negative 7. So I need to subtract 9x from both sides. So you have 7y equals negative 9x minus 7. And then I'm dividing by what?
7.
7 on all sides. So I'm left with y equals negative 9 divided by negative 9 divided by 7. What is that?
You can't do that.
It just stays like that, right? Would I want to change that to 1 and 2/7? No. Can slope be in a mixed number? No. You have to keep it like that as an improper fraction. Right. You would not be able to graph a mixed number using slope. You could graph a b that's a mixed number, but you can't find how much do I go up and over with a mixed number. Chris?
So like some of these questions want another piece of paper we have.
Possibly. Negative 7 divided by positive 7. What is that?
Negative 1.
Negative 1. So your equation is y equals negative 9 over 7x minus 1. Alright, 15. I've got x plus 3y equals 6. So what do I need to be doing?
Subtract x from both sides.
Good. Subtract x from both sides. So you are left with 3y equals negative x plus 6. Now I need to divide everything by 3. A lot of us made this mistake on our quiz yesterday. You said that negative x divided by 3 was negative 3x. Is that true?
No.
No. This is a negative 1x, so that means 1 divided by 3, which is just a fraction 1/3. So this is just negative 1/3 x plus what?
2.
Plus 2. Yes.
You just put when we get it wrong on the test, if you just put negative x divided by 3.
No, that's perfectly fine. If you just keep that x on top, you do negative x over 3, that's fine too. It's all the same thing. Doesn't matter to me. Okay. Questions on that? Alright, now this is our new material, so our parallel and perpendicular lines. What do you know about slopes of parallel lines?
They are the same slope.
Same slope. Parallel means same slope. So if I am just naming a slope that's parallel to these equations, I need to find that slope first. Can I find it just looking at that equation? No, I need to get it in slope-intercept form first. So that means I need to divide everything by 4. So in slope-intercept form, this becomes y equals what? 1/4 x plus 2. So what is the slope of that equation? 1/4. So if I'm looking for a line parallel to that, what is that slope going to be? That slope is also going to be 1/4. So m is 1/4. Number 17, I also need to get in slope-intercept form. So that would be y equals 3 over 3 is what? Just 1. So you could just say x, or you could say 1x. And then that y-intercept is 2 over 3. Okay. So again, I'm looking for a line that's parallel to that. So what would that slope be? Just 1. Remember that slope does not have your x in there. So don't tell me that the slope is 1x. It's just 1. Okay. Yes, Sam?
What did you get x thinking of for doing that?
For putting the x? Yeah. Do not put the x on the slope. Slope's just a number.
I circled the y-intercept instead of, not the y-intercept, I circled the equation instead of
It's just a slope. Spin it. Alright, number 18 and 19. I'm doing the same thing, except I'm looking for a slope that's perpendicular. So what do we know about perpendicular slopes? Opposite reciprocals. So remember, that means that one's positive, one's negative. And then your numerator of the first one becomes your denominator of the second one. And so forth. Your denominator of the first one becomes the numerator of the second one. Okay. Alright. Am I in slope-intercept form?
Yes.
Yes. So what is the slope of this equation? Negative 5, or negative 5 over 1, right? So my new slope that's perpendicular to that would be what? Positive 1/5. So you're just flipping it and then opposite sign. Number 19, what do I need to do before I can find my slope?
Get y by itself.
Y by itself. So what am I doing first here?
You have to add.
Nope.
You have to add the 5, 6 to both sides.
Add the 5x to both sides. Yeah, I know what you meant. So I'm left with 3y. Good. And now, Jaden, what do I need to do? Divide everything by 3. So my slope-intercept form would be y equals, good, 5 over 3x plus 3. That is not my answer. I'm looking for a slope perpendicular to that. So the slope of this equation is what? 5 over 3. So what would your new slope be? Negative 3 over 5. Questions on that? Remember, this is on Google Classroom too. Will be. I think my answer form for tomorrow on these type of questions will say m equals. So hopefully you won't give me an equation on this as well. Can you even give me an equation? You don't know what y-intercepts are, or a point that it's passing through, right? So all you can literally tell from that would be a new slope. So don't give me any type of equations. Okay. All right. 20, 21, and 22. It says write an equation in slope-intercept form for the line that passes through the given point and is parallel to each equation. Okay. So I've got the point negative 2, 2, and the equation y equals 4x minus 2. So what is the only thing that I need out of that y equals 4x minus 2? Send here. StudyGuide, and then you can start checking what you're doing.
B.
Do you need the b?
You need the slope.
You don't need the b.
You need
No,
the
you just
slope.
need
You
a
need
letter.
just the slope, right? What else are on the side page? Yeah, you're gonna have to find the b, but what's the only thing you need from that equation that they gave me?
The slope.
All you need from there is the slope. So what is your slope? 4. If I'm finding a line parallel to that, do I need to find a new slope? No, parallel has these same slopes, right? So I'm using that same exact m equals 4 to find a new b. Okay. So now that I know the m, do I need this equation at all?
No.
No, you can forget about that equation. What do you know about negative 2 and positive 2?
You need the 2.
That's your x and y coordinate, right? So if you need to find an equation, do you have a point and a slope? Can you find an equation given a point and a slope?
Yes.
You can. You're going to plug that into y equals mx plus b form. Okay. So my y is 2. My m is 4. My x is negative 2, and I don't know the b. You do not use this negative 2b. That's why once you find your m, you can forget about this equation. Okay. So I've got 2 equals negative 8 plus b. And how do you solve for 8? B.
Add 8 on both sides.
Add 8 to both sides. So what is your b?
10.
B is 10.
Y equals 4.
Good. Now just plug those 2 pieces back into that formula for your final equation. So y equals 4x plus 10. That is the equation to a line parallel to that. Okay. Questions? All right, number 21. What do I need from this equation? Just the slope. So what is that?
1/3.
1/3. If it's parallel, do I need to change that?
No.
Do I need this equation anymore?
No.
No. So now I just need my x, my y, and my m. So y equals 4, m equals 1/3, x equals 6, plus b. So what is 1/3 times 6?
2.
2. So 4 equals 2 plus b, and then minus 2 from both sides, and b equals 2. So what's my final equation?
Y equals 1/3 x plus 2.
Nice. So that equation is parallel to the one given. Alright, number 22. Write an equation in slope-intercept form of a line that has a y-intercept of 2. So what is your y-intercept in that formula? That's your b, okay? We want to find it parallel to the graph 4x plus 2y equals 8. So, what do I need to do with this equation first?
Minus 4x on both sides.
Right, you need to get it in slope-intercept form. So you're subtracting 4x, which leaves you with 2y equals negative 4x plus 8. And now what?
Divide the 2 on it on every.
Yep. So then your equation should be y equals
2x plus 4.
negative 2,
2x.
negative 2x plus 4. So you've got this equation that's running parallel to a line with a y-intercept of 2. We need to find the equation with that y-intercept of 2. So what's the slope of this equation?
2. Negative 2.
M equals negative 2. Does that change for a parallel line? No, it stays the same. So I know that my slope is negative 2, and I know that my b is 2. So what's the equation parallel to this?
Y equals negative 2.
Good. Y equals negative 2x plus 2. Questions on that? So the y-intercept that they give you is of the new line. It is not of this line. Because this line, the y-intercept is 4. Okay? So that already tells you that obviously that 2 is not talking about this equation. Because they don't match. Okay.
So do you just change the 4 to a 2?
Yes, technically, because this is parallel. Because your parallel changes. Any questions on that one? Okay. All right, moving on to perpendicular. So now we're writing equations in slope-intercept form for a line passing through the given point that is perpendicular. So, am I going to have to find a new slope?
Yes.
Yes. The opposite reciprocal. So, what do I need out of this equation?
The 1 over 2x.
The slope, which is 1 over 2. Okay? Am I going to use that same 1 over 2 for my new equation?
No.
No. What is going to be the new m that I use?
Negative 2 over 1.
Negative 2 over 1, or just negative 2. Okay? Do I need any of this anymore?
No.
You don't need any of that. Okay. So now all you need is this x4, y2, m equals negative 2. So you're plugging that back into y equals mx plus b so that you can find your b. So that's 2 equals negative 2 times 4 plus b.
Can we still do the 2 over 1? The negative 2 over 1?
You can. But I would prefer it to just be negative 2. Because that technically would be fully simplified if it's negative 2. AJ?
I have a question.
Okay.
I was still writing, so I didn't know how you got m equals negative 2.
On what?
On number 23.
It's your new slope. The slope that they gave you was 1/2. So if you're finding a line perpendicular to that, you find the opposite reciprocal. So you flip the 1 and the 2, and then you add, this was positive, so this has to be negative. All right, so what is B?
Negative 6.
Should be 10. Because you're adding 8 to both sides, right? So B should be 10. I feel like we had this equation before. Or we had something look like this earlier. So I know that my M is -2. My B is 10. So what would the equation of that line perpendicular be?
Y equals 2.
Y equals -2x plus 10.
Y equals -2x plus 10. That's your final answer. Any questions? All right, same deal here. What do I need out of that equation? The slope, which is -2/3. So if I'm looking for a line perpendicular to that, what would the slope be? Positive 3/2. Do I need any of this anymore? No. So now you're just plugging it back in. Y equals -3. M is 3/2 times x, which is 2. Let's B. So what's 3/2 times 2?
3.
Just 3. How do I solve for B? So what is B equal to? -6. Good. So my M and my B, put it together for your new equation. Y equals 3/2x minus 6. Good. Questions on that? We good? Okay. Last one. Determine whether each pair of lines is parallel, perpendicular, or neither. So what do you need out of those two lines? You need their slopes, right? Because that's how you tell if they're parallel, perpendicular, or neither. But can you just look at those equations and tell? No. You need to get them in slope-intercept form first. So on this first equation, I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. I'm going to draw a line here to keep them separate. So that gives me y equals 2x minus 7, right? And then what do I need to do on this other one? So then you have -2y -x minus 4. Is that in slope-intercept form?
No. You still got to divide the 2.
Yep. Still got to divide by -2. So y equals
1/2x plus 2.
Good. Positive 1/2x plus 2. Good. You're right. All right, so now they're both in slope-intercept form. So I need to compare their slopes. So what's the slope of this line? What's the slope of this line? What do you notice about those two slopes? These are opposite reciprocals. If you put that one over there, you can easily tell that they're opposite reciprocals. So these are perpendicular lines. Okay. Any questions? Hopefully this helps you. Hopefully we can do good on this test tomorrow. This video will be on Google Classroom along with the answer key. If you just want to look at the answer key to check one answer, you don't have to go through the whole video to find it. Okay? So make sure that you're studying this tonight. Tests will be very, very similar to the study guide.